Alright, so back again, and welcome to ranking every Rocket League feature. But before we get into that, if you're going to buy anything from this game today, make sure you get it from rocketprices.com. Their link's in the description. You can pretty much get anything you want from this place that's in or has been in this game for a cheaper price that you find elsewhere or from the game itself. Made it even cheaper with a 6% off code JET at checkout. So when I say ranking every Rocket League feature, I literally mean everything that appears on the screen that can be interacted with, that can be used and done on this game. I'm talking from the cars themselves to the menus, to settings, to the little individual buttons like multiple select, search and stuff like that. Literally everything you can think of. There's going to be like 200 different things probably along them kind of lines. I don't actually know too much yet how many it's going to be, but you can probably tell from the length of the video. I'm not going to try and waffle too much about them like I did in the song tier list, which took me way too long to make. This one I'm going to try and keep just the details short on this one and just keep it brief. And just explain my point and why I put it there, and then to move on instead of waffling about them too much. Yeah, we've got a lot to get through, and these kind of videos don't really appeal to a lot of people, but seeing as you're here watching this obviously appeals to you, so I'm glad you're here to watch this long video. It's going to be a fun one actually, just picking out every single part of this game and seeing what's actually needed or not, see what could be improved. So Epic, you best be watching, boys, because I'm pointing out things that you probably haven't seen, so fucking watch it. Yeah, let's get into our first bit. We're going to start on the main menu. Let's see what we can have and see where we rank stuff. So we start on the main menu, and before we get into it, I do want to point out these ranks will be judged on not just how the feature affects the game, but how the community uses it as well, so that's a factor into the decision. But here we go, let's get to the main menu. Here is our tier list. So you can see there's 5 tiers, we put them in, and ranging from, you know, game changing to absolutely pointless otherwise in the game. So let's start. We've got all sorts of things in this main menu. So typically I'm going to try and start on the left to the right. So anything on the left of the screen, I'll try and do that as we progress. So I'll start with the create party button down at the bottom left here. And you may notice certain things I have ignored, like the badges and the banners and the titles. We come on to that later because that's in different things, such as profile here. We'll come on to that later. Start off the create party button. I'm going to put this one in the good edition category, and I'll explain why. This little button right here can do many things for you. It can put you with a very good player, put you with a friend, and it can also put you with Smurfs, which is why I haven't put it in the game changing category, because it can actually, I guess it is game changing, but for a bad reason, that you can play with people that should have been in your rank and people get very annoyed by that, so that's why it's gone down one. However, overall it's very beneficial to the game. You know, actually to play with friends, etc. So I'm going to put it in good edition. So moving on, I'm going to drop down below the create party button to this news feed at the bottom here, and to be honest, I'm going to put it, I was going to put it in pointless, but I'm going to go one up and just put it like what does it actually give to this game kind of thing, like what is it actually benefit. All it's saying is get NFL Pass now, season 4 now live, which started a month ago, so it's still telling you that, and tier up in the Rocket Pass if that's not what it's for. So yeah, it is pretty pointless, but I'm going to leave it there just because it does sometimes tell you things you might not see. Moving across the screen then, so we're going to start off the NFL kickoff event. That's going in fucking pointless, because what is the point? Oh, that probably won't be out by the time this video's out. We're going to throw that in anyway. Now we come to challenges. You can see that's next along the screen. Let's go into challenge then. So we have a couple of things here. We have the NFL Open Season Challenge. I've already dealt with these, is go in the pointless category, and the weekly challenges I'd say are okay. They're not really games, they're not really a good addition. Personally, I think that a lot of people think they're game changing because, you know, it gives people an incentive to play the game, but however, I don't remember actually looking at these challenges thinking, you know what, I'm going to go and do that. Do you know what I mean? I just get them from playing, so it's not like a conscious decision. They're going to go in okay, you know, across the season challenges now. So these are going to have the same thing as I just said, okay for that reason, because it's the same principle. I don't actually look at these think, you know what, I'm going to go and make 35 saves in online matches. It just happens. However, the 22 free season challenges and the season reward, I put it's a good addition because it gives people a, you know, that's the incentive. It gives people a reward in terms of actual like rewards that people might want. All these are kind of just have basic stuff that you won't, you know, you'd get anyway, so it's not really important to do these. However, that import drop is very good, useful for people who like trading, etc. So I'm gonna put that good addition. So marginally just the front of news, we're going to go to the R2 button, which is the friends list, etc. That's where we start off here. We're going to start off with a friends list. So we have all these different sections here which tells you when people are online. Of course it's going to be a good addition because it tells you who's on. It's not game changing because you could deal without it, do you know what I mean? You could just message people saying, oh, are you online now? But it's very helpful that you can see who's online, doing what, playing what. You have the add epic friend button down here. Now this has to be this has to be game changing, because without add epic friend, how are you going to add people to play with? How are you going to add people to play with if you don't have that button? Okay, it's just been covered by the music. We'll come to the music actually next, because I forgot about that was even there. To add epic friend has to be game changing, because without it, you ain't going to be able to add any people to play with or have fun with the game or anything like that. I mean, I've got, look, 245 offline, so you know, without them I wouldn't be able to interact with anyone. Let's come on to music then. I'm definitely putting this in good addition, because I was going to do game changing for this, but however, a lot of people don't even listen to the music, and it made me think about that. I was thinking, people play this game perfectly fine without the music, but for me, I love the music on this game. I've even made like a 2-hour music tier list before all these new ones came out, up until about here. And if you want to go check that out, please do. It took me very, very long. I've even ranked every single song. The last thing on this main menu will be the news. This isn't quite pointless. It's going to go the one above that, just because it can actually, obviously it's the first thing you see when there's a new thing coming out like this. It would come up saying this and it tells you what it is. That's the only benefit it has. Other than that, I would never actually click on this button to look at this. Only when it pops up on the screen to start with, I ever see this screen. So that's the main menu dealt with. Let's get into, let's start at the top with the play button. So we've got a lot of things to go through here. We've got 6 things, and we've got so many things inside them as well. Let's start off with casual. So we have limited time modes. Now for me, I don't play them that much, but I've got to think of the wider community here. I'm going to put them as a good addition, because they do provide some good game modes. I would say game changing, because at the end of the day, a lot of them are boring anyway. I was close to putting in the okay category, because at the end of the day, I don't play them, it's my list. But I had to think genuinely in the wider opinion here, because people do enjoy. I mean, Griddy, I don't see the point in it, but people enjoy it. So you know, I'll put it in the good addition. So all the other buttons, multiple selection, arenas, and the players population, I'll come to that at the end of the casual or the playlist. But we'll start with these. And for casual, I'm not going to do 1, 2s and 3s. I'll come to them on the competitive side. I'm just going to do 4v4. And personally, I'm putting in good addition, because without 4v4, you won't be able to play with 3 of your friends. You know what I mean? It's a good. I'd actually like to see it in competitive. I think it would be funny. I think it'd be a great addition to the game if they put it in competitive. I'd actually love to see that, but for now it's a good addition, because it can be fun, and then it can be fun if you've got 4 people in your party. It's the only thing you can do. We'll do competitive. I want to just group casual as a whole and put that in the game changing category. Without casual, you wouldn't have casual players playing this game who don't want to play this stress of competitive. There's got to be game changing. So that's casual dealt with. Let's get into some competitive now. We get to deal with all this stuff. So let's start with 3v3. Obviously it's game changing. I'm pretty sure you know what these two are going to be as well. It's game changing for good reason, because it's a 3v3. Without the 3v3, you can't play 3v3. Simple as that. 2v2 is exactly the same. It's going to be game changing for that reason. Without 2v2, you can't play 2 against 2 players. Like, it's ridiculous. Imagine having 1v1 and then 3v3 with no 2v2. It'd be outrageous. 1v1, as much as I hate it, as much as I absolutely despise 1v1s, we'll throw that in the game just category as well, because without 1v1s you can't play solo against people. Come on to the season reward level now. This is going to be a good addition. It could be anywhere, this, because it ranges sometimes depending on what the rewards are. But then you work so hard to get these rewards, and like this season just gone, they give you a fucking decal, I think, almost worse than the one from the previous season. Coming back to that, it can be quite tedious getting all those wins, but if you play the game semi-regularly, you'll get them. I mean, you got like 2-3 months to get them anyway. It's only like 60 wins to get to Grand Champ rewards, probably more than that, but you get the point. It could be anywhere. It could be pointless in a way, because at the end of the day, it's not actually that important, but it's an incentive to play, so I'm going to put it in a good addition. It could be anywhere, as I said. So you want to do competitive as well, so I'm going to do casual. Of course, it's game changing. Giving people competitive rank is a great way to incentivize people to play this game. It's definitely game changing addition. Without competitive ranks, people get bored. As I said, I'll come on to all this arena, region, players, population stuff after I come over custom games, so I'll come back to them in a sec. Let's go into tournaments now. This is massive. So obviously you've got 4 tabs here. So we'll start off with here. We'll start off with the tournaments themselves. Obviously game changing for me personally, because my channel wouldn't blow up without the tournaments. My channel's blown up because the tournaments coming out free to play. Most of my viewed videos, in fact, I'm pretty sure all of my most viewed videos are to do with tournaments, whether it's winning them, explaining them, etc. So I do that as the tournaments as a whole, as I've done with competitive and casual, except when I do the star here, because I've got to comment on all these separate types of tournaments. So the casual extra mode tournaments, of course, I'm going to put them in a good addition, because it's not technically game changing, because we can still live without it, but it is a good addition, giving people alternate modes to play tournaments, because the 3v3 ones were getting quite boring. I just kind of stopped playing them because they were getting quite tedious playing the same stuff over again. Being able to play Snow Day or Drop Shot or Hoops competitively with friends as a tournament is a very good idea. Just beneath that, as I said, we're going left to right. We have the region Europe indicator, which, to be honest, isn't really needed, because if you're in that region, you would have thought you'd be playing that region. But at the end of the day, some people might be caught out whilst playing with friends going different regions. At least it tells you if you've changed that setting, what the setting is at the moment. Then just below that, you can see we've got the about button, which tells you all about tournaments, and to be honest, is it really needed? Probably not, so it's going to go in that category. It does give you an insight as to what tournaments are, but you can kind of work them out yourself just from playing them. So it's going to be, is it really needed? Next we've gone to top 3 weekly placements. I'm going to put it in an okay category because it's not really needed, but at the end of the day it shows you what your top 3 things are, so it is quite handy to have. It's not really a good addition because you'd probably remember them without it, and those top 3 weekly placements do give you added rewards in terms of tournament credits when you played them, so there we go. Last few things on this page then, we've got 2v2 tournaments. I think this is actually a very good addition, but I'm not going to put it in game changing because, to be honest, it's the same as 3v3 tournaments in the day, just with one less person. It's not really that much different. But yeah, it's going to go in the good addition category because I don't think it's game changing, but it's definitely a good addition. The original 3v3 tournaments, no, if this was before season 4, it'd probably be game changing, but I've now grouped tournaments as a whole as game changing, so it's going to be a good addition as well. Because if it's just 2v2 tournaments without 3v3, I feel like people would be bored of them as well, so having the variance there is quite handy. So the tournament rank at top right is another thing. And I would originally put this good addition if it wasn't until the most recent update where they changed it from Grand Champ 1, 2 and 3 just to Grand Champ as a whole. But that reason's going in the okay category because I don't know why they've done that, because they used to tell you what rank you were, and now you've still got to go onto Rocket League Tracker, which is what you didn't have to do when it first came out. Now you've still got to go and check what your actual tournament rank is to know exactly what it is, so it's a pain. But it's quite handy to know whether you're in Grand Champ or Champ or not. It can tell you that, so I guess it's okay. And whilst it's here, we'll get into tournament credits. I think it's a good addition because it gives you, again, rewards, and it gives you in a sense of playing. If there's no tournament credits or no banners, we'll come onto that in a second, actually, tournament banners, then people wouldn't play them, would they? Because it's just like a casual tournament. So the tournament credits, being able to buy rewards for them, which we'll come onto next, is actually quite good. So here are the tournament rewards. So I'm going to group them all together because at the end of the day, they are just different variants. Like they're all the same thing. There's not one that's better than the other. Well, obviously they are, but they're more expensive for a reason. So I'm going to group them all together. The tournament cups, I'm going to put them as okay. This might come as a shock because people might think they're good addition, game changing, whatever. But I'm going to put them as good, as okay even. Because I just feel like the rewards you get from which I'll come into a second are just kind of underwhelming, and the fact it's very rare and very low chance you're going to get something good other than these two down the end. No, I don't think it's that incredible they've put these into the game. I feel like there's a better way of doing it than this, and it's going to be okay. Now we come to tournament rewards, and to be honest, it is needed, but it's not good, is it? So I'm going to put it in the okay category because most of the time these are rubbish, and people only use these. I've only ever seen people use this one, which is annoying, so it's going to go in the okay category. Now, custom tournaments, I'm going to group them all together here, because at the end of the day, they are just custom tournaments, it's just different pages for them. So, custom tournaments as a whole are game changing. They are. I mean, I use them a lot for my streams and my Discord and my community, but as a whole, before these tournaments came out, these were the thing you played, and they're a very good way to get a community tournament going on and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's not really anything bad to say about them, other than the fact they do get quite neglected, and the fact that Epic haven't even updated the fact you can't see the region or the amount of teams or anything like that, or any rank anymore. It's just they haven't bothered to update that. Mostly by the fact that you can do whatever you want. You can do a snow day, hoops, soccer, heat seeker, drop shot, any tournament, rumble, literally everything, any maps, any mutated, and people can do a tournament from them and do whatever you want. So I think it's a great way to play the game. Come across to the history tab now. So we have the subscribed and created tournaments kind of put together. I mean, the subscribed tournaments are literally the created tournament. If you're creating a tournament, you tend to play in it, so I don't see the point in created category. So that created category is going to go in the pointless category because I don't understand what the point in is. Of the history and the subscribed thing as a whole, it's probably a good addition actually, because without that you wouldn't be able to go back and see your tournaments and see you won the tournaments, etc. You then wouldn't be able to see, how you got on and who won the tournaments, etc. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good addition. So now we come into training. Now I'm not going to group training as a whole, because in the day there's so many different things to do here. I'm going to do all these 6 things here. So free play has to be game changing. I'm sorry, there's no one changing your mind for that. You can do whatever map you want, any game mode, snow day, drop shot, hoops, anything, rumble even, and you can just play freely for hours. You can get lost in this game mode, and it's a great way to develop your play, so it's game changing 100%. Now, custom training, there's a few things to go through here. So we have the featured page and custom training, and these tell you the kind of favourites of the community. So I'm going to put it in okay. because it is an okay feature. It's not really needed in a day. Without that, you wouldn't see the most common ones. And to be honest, if I'm going to do these, I would tend to just come to this page. Now the browse page gives you more detailed insight into the kind of ones that are made, the more popular ones, but not just the, you know, the favorites. And this is okay as well, because again, at the end of the day, it's not really needed, but how else are you going to find them without this page? So favorites tab, I guess you could say, is a good addition, but for me, not personally using it that much. And to be honest, if you remember the code, it's not really that needed. It's going to go in okay categories. It is quite handy, it can give you a shortcut to your favorite ones, but it's not really needed. Then the create new sequence has to be a good addition, because you make your own custom training for your own needs, other people. Great way to get people involved in what you're trying to do, and a great way to test yourself. As well as that, we're going to rank the download code option. I think that's got to be a good addition, because you can just share your code, share your training pack out to whoever you want, and get people involved in it. It's not really game changing, at the end of the day. You can do without it, as for most things that aren't game changing, but this has to be a good addition, because without that you can't share your code and get into the wider community. So I'm not going to do Pro, All-Star and Rookie for all of these three next here. I'm just going to rank them individually, because at the end of the day they're just advanced versions of themselves, so they're all going to be in the same category. So I'm going to put all three in at once. But it's aerial, goalie and striker training are really not needed. I'm sorry, but they just really aren't. They're good for basics. They're good for basics, but it's got to go into the really needed category, because they're good for basic stuff, but after that it's so limited what you can do, because it's just the same shot over and over and over again, and it's really not hard either. Like, anyone with relative skill can complete all of these 10 out of 10, 100% each time. The tutorial, now usually I'd say it's not needed, but new players probably do need it. However, it's not a good addition either, because it's very frustrating, the tutorial. It's so slow, it's not like free flowing, it keeps stopping you every 2 seconds. I'm going to put it in the okay category, because again, it is kind of needed to help people get used to the game basics, but it's very frustrating. It's not done well, basically. So extra modes, we'll come on to these now, and after this we'll get into these, because they're not in the others, so we'll get into them after these. All of these are going to be the same. All of these will be the same, so I'll put all 4 of them in at the same time. They're all going to be good additions. They're not game changing in the slightest, because you can still play the normal game without these. These are just added. I mean, the game was fine before these came in, so these are just added games that are extra fun, keep the community happy. They're not game changing, they are very good. It was borderline putting them game. We had so many game changing things though. I want to put them in good addition. So all 4 of these, Rumble, Drop Shot, Hoops and Snow Day, all going in good addition. So let's come on to the other things. We've got 4 other things to go through. We've got multiple selection. Now this is going to be an okay addition. It's quite helpful. You can search all these at once if you wanted to and just get a random one. But it's not really particularly needed. You tend to want to know. You tend to know what game you want to play, so it's not really that important. But it's quite nice to have. You can do that when you want to. So yeah, it's quite nice to have that. Now we come on to playlist population, indicating how many people are in it. So this before would be a good addition until they changed it from the actual number until good, great, and amazing. I don't know why they've done that. Stop people seeing that the game's dying, maybe, but they've limited you from seeing how many people are playing each game mode, which is very frustrating. And it was a good addition before, seeing how many people were playing each one, so you could judge that, but now I just ruined it by putting it just in good instead. So it's going in the okay category, as I've said. Without that, it would be a good addition, but they've changed it. Now these two, they had the arena button, and I actually think it's a good addition, because some people don't like certain maps. I haven't touched these for so long though. I haven't even looked at these for ages, but they are quite helpful. It puts you away from the maps you don't like. I mean, I don't particularly like these 2 maps, so it puts me on the ones that I actually do enjoy and like playing on. I get these all the time, so it obviously does work. Now the last one on the play category is going to be the regions, and of course I actually think this is game changing. Without this, you'd be on any, I mean, it probably put you in a region, but you can pick what you want to play. So if you're trying to play with a friend in USC, you can purposely set them or whatever region you want to play in. So if I want to play in India for whatever reason and lag out every game, I can do that if I want to. So coming on to custom games. Custom games is another one that'll find himself in the game changing, because without that you can't play custom games with friends, you can't host private matches, you can't do anything you want, 1v1s with friends, private games, whatever you want to do. Half my videos wouldn't be able to be complete without this stuff. Coming into the actual custom games, you have the exhibition match. Now this is really not needed. It's really not, but I'm putting it okay, because it's the way to play offline, in a way. If you haven't got online play, which some people won't, it's the way to play any game mode you want offline, with any setting, any map, any game mode. It's, or we just playing the game. It's okay. It's really not, because it's just bots. It's literally just bots. The season mode, now this has so much potential. This has so much potential, but they're not doing anything with it. I'm really frustrated by this. There's so much they could do with the season mode. They're not doing anything with it. And it's very frustrating. They could do so much of that. They could do a career mode like FIFA do, etc. It could be so good, but they don't want to touch it for some reason. And it's only against bots as well. For that reason, it's going to isn't really needed, because I don't know anyone who plays this. I literally don't know anyone who plays season. I guess it could be okay, probably should be okay, but I'm just so pissed off by the fact that they don't actually do anything with it. Just gonna go to the one below. Now we have private matches, and this is just an online version of fucking exhibition, but it's definitely game changing. As I said, without this you can't play against your friends, can't do hosted private matches like I do for a lot of my videos, and it'll just be a different game because you wouldn't be able to play against your friends in a way without searching with the same rank over and over again. It wouldn't be possible. So this is definitely game changing private matches. Yeah, custom games as a whole, I've already said it's game changing, but that's all that is on the play side. A very big part of the game is obviously in the play category, so what else are you going to do with a game. So next we have the item shop. Now this divides a lot of opinion. I'm going to give my opinion on it as well as considering the overall community. So we have the featured page to start with, and I'll come on to these. So we have the featured items, which tend to be your top of the range things that people go for. I'm going to put this in a good edition because me personally, I don't care about cosmetics. I use the same white octane with the GC rewards on every single game. I'm not too fussed about it. However, people do care about this kind of thing. So looking at the whole general community, the item shop is a good addition in terms of this. Featured items, daily items are also a good addition. They can go in there as well, because just extra things like this, I mean, who on earth's going to use this? But there we go, it's 100 credits for those of you who want to buy it. And little things like cheaper things that people might think are nice, I mean, them maybe not, but you know, there might be some things in here like the shark fin, people might want to put that on, it's just 50 credits, people could buy that for fun. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to group the starter packs and the bundles together, because they are pretty much just buying a pack of a car. It changes all the time, so it's not, I can't really specify on the Roadhog XL because it's going to be different by next week. These bundles, I guess they're a good addition, but I don't know anyone who actually buys the bundles. They're going to pick and choose what they want. That's going to be an okay addition. It is kind of needed, I guess, to give people different variations. You can get discounts. I mean, look at it, you get all this stuff for a cheaper price that you get them separately. So it is a good addition, but at the same time, it's not needed. So kind of cancel each other out. It's going to be okay. This also goes in the bundle, so I'm not ignoring the NFL. Now the esports, I really want to put this in pointless, I really do, but people do actually obviously care about esports. I'm not too fussed personally, but people do care about them significantly, so it's not really needed, but then you can rep your favourite team's colour. Some people do that at the NLG one on, and if you want to do that you can, so it is quite a good addition, but to me it's really not needed at all. You're just using someone else's like name. I don't see why you want to do that. I had many pointless things, so have we, but we'll definitely have some to come, trust me. So we need to come down to buy credits next for the item shop, and obviously credits are very expensive, but they are very needed for this game. It is definitely game changing. However, it really upsets me to price them, especially when you look at my sponsor Rocket Prices and the prices they charge for credits. It is absolutely outrageous that they get away with charging you £4 for 500, which you can't even buy these wheels for. Like, come on. It's definitely game changing. Obviously credits, without that you don't have the virtual currency to buy things, which just functions the whole item shop and the whole trading community, so it's definitely game changing. Support a creator code, that's definitely a good addition. Without the support creator code you don't have creators like me. I mean, I haven't applied for one. I really should. People have been asking me to do so, but I haven't done one yet. But to be able to support your favourite creators or YouTubers or whatever is a very good idea. I should probably make one and put it in the description. But if it's in there, I'll have it. If I have it in time, it'll be in the description. If I don't, it won't be there. So if it's not there, then don't bother looking for it. But it's a good addition. And that sums up our item shop. So we have the Rocket Pass. Obviously I'm going to come on to the two separate things of the free tier pass and the Rocket Pass itself. But actually we're going to start at the top left there. So see where the Rocket Pass actually is. It tells you how much level you are, and you can, in fact you can tier up. So the idea of a Rocket Pass itself is probably a good addition. I'm not going to put it any higher than that because in the day it's just cosmetic items. The fact you can tier up just by buying one, I think it's an absolutely outrageous decision from Epic to try and fucking rinse you for any more money. I'm going that, and it isn't really needed. It's really not. It's just a way of farming your money. The premium 80% XP boost coming from the Rocket Pass is definitely an okay addition. It's not a good addition. You don't really need it. I guess it gives you incentive to buy it, but it's end of the day, it's all just advertisement. A bit of a banter with this one. The few orange car button at the bottom, I'm definitely putting a good edition just for the fact I can do this with my car, because my car is exactly the same. That's the only reason I'm putting a good edition. No, I'm only joking. It's going, is it really needed? Because it's not pointless, because you might want to see what it looks like on a different coloured car, but it's not needed at all. You can just go back out or look at your car what it was. So now we have the premium and free edition. So the free edition to start with is definitely an okay edition, but it is really bare bones. It really pushes you to buy the I mean, obviously it's smart from Epic to do that, because it gives you little things as a tease. I mean, it gives you uncommon drops, which is nowhere going to get you nothing. It gives you no credits, nothing to kind of push you towards, you know, staying with a free pass. It pretty much wants you to buy the premium pass, which is what it's for really. But it's an okay edition. In fact, it does give actually free to play players some kind of incentive. Premium pass itself, now I've got this, but I actually haven't paid for it. I've got 1k credits for it. I've had 1k credits for every season. I've just bought it every time, and obviously you get them back. And it's a good edition because it gives you so much stuff that you might actually want to use. It gives you credits to rebuy it. It's not game changing again because it's all cosmetic. I've already been through that. But the premium pass, as well as the separate from the rocket pass, it is a good addition because it gives you a lot of stuff that you might want to use that I personally wouldn't, but some people might want to use them. Yeah, that is a rocket pass then, not too much into there. Let's get into garage next. So we've already dealt with the few orange car button that just changes out of this. We don't have to go through that again. So we've got 5 different things here. Customized car option. Now we've got a lot of things to go through here. We can go through each one. The cowls, bodies, all of this. So changing your car body has to be game changing. It changes the whole look of your car. It almost changes slightly the play style and the way you hit the ball, so it is definitely game changing. Cowls obviously a very good addition. A lot of these will be, because they change the way your car looks and feels, and it makes you a much happier person who's got a car designed the way you want it to. Paint finish for me is irrelevant because I can't change it anyway, but it's good addition because you can change the complete colour of your car and the way it looks, so it's definitely a good addition. Wheels again, a good addition for the same reason. A lot of these will be the same. Rocket boost as well, got to be a good addition. The fact you can change how your boost looks and sounds. Top up, again, a good addition, because without my Mohawk, I wouldn't be able to track how many goals I've scored. Pretty much, I've scored more than that. But however, I've got a different opinion on antennas. I don't like antennas. I don't think a lot of people do either. So I'm going to drop this one down and put in the okay category. It still does affect the way your car looks, I guess, but it's really not needed. Ball explosion, great addition. It's not game changing, but it's a great addition. The fact you can change the way the ball explodes. Trail. You know what, I'm actually going to put this in the is it really needed, because I don't really notice a trail, to be honest with you. I don't notice it that much at all, so it's going to be is it really needed, because it's not. It's really not needed. You could do without the trail. Engine audio, you know what, I'm undecided about this one. I think I'm going to put it in the okay. It's not really needed. It is kind of pointless, but then the other ones kind of are, because they're all cosmetic. This one just doesn't feel like it's any. You can barely hear your engine anyway, really. I'm just kind of numb to the sound of it. We have the equipped blue and orange buttons. Now, these are definitely good addition, because there used to be a time where you couldn't deter from the different ones. So you could just have that on all of them. So you had, at the time, you couldn't pick different ones of different cars, whereas now you can. That's definitely a good addition for them to do that. Randomized preset button, that's got to be an okay addition. It's not really needed, but it can be good fun, I guess. It's quicker way than doing it yourself. Create new preset is definitely a good addition. Without the create new preset button, you won't have the ability to make new different ones, just be able to interchange for them like I can. You have to just keep changing the same one over again, which can get frustrating. Make a new name for the preset isn't really needed, to be honest. Best delete one goes in okay category, because you know it's not needed, but you do be annoyed without it because you had like 100 different presets. So the trade-in, now this is going to cause a lot of commotion. The actual idea as a whole, I actually really like it. It's not game changing though. It's definitely not game changing. I do like the idea of being able to trade in and build up. However, it does wear away a lot of your stuff, and it actually gives you something that really isn't worth what you was expecting. And a lot of people do have value for these things. I think it's going to be. I'd love to say okay, but I'm putting in good addition just because it is, you know, is a great way to trade up your stuff to get higher stuff, which you couldn't really do before. So I do like that. So the manage inventory topic is a difficult one, because it should be a good addition, but I'm putting it down in okay because it's not really a nice way to. They haven't done it well. The way you have to go through them to find your stuff, I just feel it's frustrating. It's really hard to find stuff sometimes. I don't like the layout of it. It's very kind of clustered. I guess I don't know how else they're meant to do it, but at the end of the day, yeah, I just personally don't like it. It's gonna go down to okay. Blueprints now. This is the difficult one, because this is literally a money farm for Epic, which really puts it down in the list for my eyes. But the fact that you can build whatever exactly you want just from earning it in game, I guess is a good idea. But it's not It's just a difficult one. I don't want to put it down because it is a very good idea, but it's also money farming. But I'm going to put it in good addition. It is a good addition, the fact you can see what you want and what you want to buy, and you can buy it for whatever price they charge you. But it doesn't mean you can pick and choose whatever it is you want, so I do quite like that. And you tend to earn blueprints for free, so it's not like you have to go through and buy these as well as buying them to make them, so it is a good addition. And that tops off the garage. Coming on to profile then. So we have career, and we go into this, we go into the stats option. So I'm going to rank stats as a whole, because stats gives you all of these things that you've done, and it's definitely a good addition. Being able to know what you've done here is very, very nice to look at sometimes. I do quite enjoy going on here and looking at how long I've played for, the amount of XP I've got, the amount of goals I've scored, etc. It can be quite fun to look at. These leaderboards, however, are not pointless, but they're not really needed at all. I don't really want to see, you know, how many goals I score compared to my friends. I don't really care that much about that. I guess it could be okay, but for me, it's going to go in the not really needed category. The league rankings, however, is a good addition. Being able to see what the top few people are and where to work towards, and where to see what your friends' ranks are also very good addition to the game, so you can see what's going on. And you can compare yourself to your friends and how you rank against them, and you know who's the best or what game mode, etc. In fact, you can alternate between PS4 friends and global is also a good idea. So that's going to go in the okay category, because it's not really, you know, it's nothing special. We've already been through ranks as a whole in competitive, and it's already in game changing. However, the fact they list them here is an okay addition. I guess it tells you what list the ranks are in, but anyone who's played the game will know what list the ranks are in. It could be not really needed, I guess, but you know, it's quite nice to have that there for maybe new people. That's the career side done. Let's go into replays now. Replays are definitely a good addition. They're not game changing. You don't really need to be able to look at replays to play the game. However, the fact you can go into games, and these are just ones from my Olympics video, the fact you can use this and get different angles and analyze your game is definitely a very good addition. It could be game changing, but at the end of the day, you don't need to be able to look at them. Just a very, very helpful thing to have. The whole idea of a club is an okay addition. I guess the fact you can do this, that as a whole, is a good addition. However, the little things in here, having the roster to see who's in your club is not really needed. You tend to know who you've invited. Now this, create and join private match of your club, is a good idea, but it's absolutely pointless. I don't know anyone who's used this. If you're going to do this, you just party up with them and do it. That's one of our very few pointless options. These two buttons here, absolutely pointless. In fact, we've got another one here, set news. I've never seen anyone look at the news. In fact, mine is DOSA. That's how irrelevant it is. The edit team colors is actually a good addition. The fact you can change what color you are in game if you're partied up with someone in your clubs. Even in a 2v2 game, I play up with Arch. We go into a game, we play against another club, it picks your team colour to as your normal colour, so that's a good addition. The fact that you can rename your club is probably an okay addition. It's not really needed, but it depends what name, it changes what name comes up on screen, etc. I think it changes your tag as well in front of your name. It's definitely an okay addition. Being able to leave your club, game changing, nah, it's an okay addition. It allows you to do it. It's not anything, obviously, it's not special at all, but it is needed. Player anthems, now I'm actually divided on that. People don't really like them. However, I definitely think they're a good addition. They're not game changing at all, obviously, because there used to be music in the game anyway. However, the fact that you can pick your favourite song to play when you score is definitely a good idea. However, they definitely need to add some more. They've been really dry, the recent ones. They need to add some more of these old songs that everyone used to use back in the day. So being able to choose your banner is definitely an okay addition. It's really not important, the banner. I don't think I really care too much about it. I've got the standard one clip, for Christ's sake. Let's change the colour of it. It's also okay, because in the day you can much change the colour with it without it, but it doesn't really matter too much what colour it is. The title is definitely a good addition. I think being able to change your title is definitely an addition. And we haven't gone through these yet. We haven't gone through these tags and the way that they work with the tournament. I think these tags in general tags are good. I don't include these in the same category. They're definitely a good addition. I'd be able to have these as an incentive to work towards from tournaments, and be able to change what your tag is, be able to just give yourself a new identity. I mean, I like Blizzard Wizard because it's rare, it's iconic, but to have that, I think, is a very good idea. You can just kind of show yourself and what you've achieved. The avatar border is really not needed. It really isn't. I don't care about this in the slightest. Like, picking this makes no difference to me. Like, look at the difference between the two as well. There's absolutely no difference in these two. Let's change the colour of it. Again, it's also going to be a not really needed category. It isn't pointless because you guess it does make a difference, but you know, and that's all in profile. Settings, I really want to do all of these, but that will take stupidly long. I'm going to generalise all the top categories: gameplay, camera, controls, interface, video, audio, chat, extras. You know, you get the idea. First, let's tackle the default button. Be able to revert to default settings, I guess, is quite a novelty, but it's not really needed at all, is it? So gameplay settings, you better adjust cross-platform play if you want that on or not. Show compare. I mean, all of these are generally game changing. However, this one really isn't. It's a good addition, but for that you can change this and change what text is, but it's not really changing the game. The gameplay settings are good additions. However, camera settings, game changing, 100%. Everyone rinses me for my camera settings, but I quite like my camera settings and how they are. It's what I'm used to. 100% game changing though. Change the whole perspective of the game and how you see things. Controls equally. The fact you can change bindings to how you want them to be, definitely game changing. This, I don't really know if I've ever adjusted these that much. I don't think it's needed. I actually don't think this section is needed at all. It probably is in some way, but I look at these. But you can turn off notifications. Do you really need to do that? Team kind of boost me. I think that stuff like that is pointless. Do you know what I mean? Interface is definitely not needed. This is probably for people with more care about graphics and stuff like that. For me, look at this. I don't really care as much about it. It's definitely not needed. It's probably needed in some ways. It's not pointless, but it's definitely not important. But you can change audio. It's definitely a good addition. I need to use that a lot when I'm filming to reduce this down so you can hear me properly. They can play songs in game as well, definitely a good addition. The chat is 100% game changing. The fact you can change them, probably not so much, but the chat as a whole, I'm going to address that probably later actually. So the fact you can change, the fact that you can pick different chats, I guess is a good addition. I guess it's creativity, pick what suits you best. I mean, I don't change them too much, but people will have different things, and I guess that's a good addition. However, it's not really that important in the grand scheme of things, so I'm actually going to change that and put it in an okay category, because it's not really that important to change your chat, but it can be. So there we go. Extras, this stuff, I don't think I've ever looked at it. I think it's generally pointless, but they're obviously needed for stuff like this. So they are definitely legal requirements, and be able to link your account and stuff like that, redeem code. I think it's going to be not really needed. However, it probably will be in some ways, but for me it would be pointless without considering other people. So that's settings then. All we've got to do now is hop into free play and go through the individual game features. So in game we've got a fair few things to talk about. First thing we've got to talk about maps. Different maps is definitely game changer. The fact you have different maps in the game, you can change the look of the map, it changes the whole perspective and almost how you see the game. It can disorientate some people, also helps people with different maps, so it's definitely game changing. I'm not going to go through every control, I'm going to go through the little thing that just appears on the screen. So the fact you have a boost meter is definitely game changing. Without the boost meter you wouldn't know how much boost you have and what you can do. Ball cam toggler, game changing again for obvious reasons. You can see the ball, you can't. The scoreboard at the top is definitely a good addition. It's not game changing technically, because you can still look at this, I guess. It's not game changing. It tells you how long's left of the game at some point as well, so it's not game. It's definitely a good addition. Without it, it'd be weird. This scoreboard is definitely a good addition as well. It's not game changing again for the same reasons, but it tells you what server it is. Like, it's really not needed, other than the fact it says EU or USA, so you know it's not pointless because it does tell you what what region it is. All the numbers just because they're relevant. But obviously the chat as a whole is game changing, because it allows so much of the game to be true, as well as the toxic side, which I guess is almost a negative, but it's definitely game changing in that sense, as well as it being a positive thing. Boost pads as a whole, game changing. 100 boosts as a whole, game changing. Without them you wouldn't have boost. Got a couple more ridiculous things as well. The ball, pointless, don't need it. No, I'm joking. Obviously game changing, same as the cars would be game changing as well. Goal replays, definitely a good addition. I'd say they're not game changing, you could do without them, but they're definitely a good addition to have. The fact you can see how long it took you to score from the last goal, and the speed, I guess the time it took is pretty pointless. The speed could be an okay addition, tells you how fast it's been. Not really that important in the general scheme of things. Notifications when you have a shot on goal or a goal, they're probably not needed. In fact, I'm going to put them in that category because a lot of people turn them off. A lot of people do turn these notifications off for good reason, because they do get quite visually distractive. Especially when playing stuff like Heat Seeker, it can be very annoying. You've got the mute report button, which I can't click on because I'm in a custom game. That is also a good addition, but to report and mute toxic people that have been out of hand, that's definitely a good addition. Don't even report the server, it's okay. I don't really use that too much, but I guess if it's a faulty server you want to get out of the game as soon as you can. I'm not going to go through each individual game mechanic, such as demos, goals, saves. I'll be here forever doing that, but I'm going to go through the last two things I'm going to go through are forfeiting and abandoning match. There's a leave match button, which I'm actually going to put this as abandoned match. Abandoning match is definitely a good addition if you want to get out of a game ASAP. It is definitely a good addition to have that, even though it's very frustrating for people who do want to play the game, but the fact there's a punishment attached to it, I think is fair. You don't have to vote. You don't have the vote to forfeit buttons, which allow you to leave or, you know, forfeit a game when you're losing or you want to leave the game because you've got a bad teammate, etc. They're definitely game changing. That fact that game that allows you to do that is definitely, without that you wouldn't be able to, you know, leave the game. You know, it prevents people from even creating comebacks sometimes. People will forfeit 2 goals down and it stops them from, you know, winning the game sometimes because you could come back. So it's definitely game changing in that sense. And a couple after game things here. The fact you can go straight into a play again game is definitely good addition. It speeds up everything. But you can change players to go into training. It's also a good addition because you can change players whenever you want to. Also saves you time. The party up option, very good. I'd almost go as far as say game changing. You just party up with people online, don't have to send them a friend request, all that rubbish. You can party up with them straight away. Some people might not be able to send friend requests, etc. So there we go, there's that. And the last few things, we had the fact that you can see your rank and what rank you are, people's ranks next to the names after the game. That's definitely an okay addition because, you know, you tend to know what rank you'll be anyway from this menu. So it's not that important, but it's definitely nice to have there. It's not really that needed though. You know what I see? I think that is that. I think that's every single thing possible to do in this game. Obviously other than the game mechanics, because that's the game itself. I'll be ranking the game itself if I did that, which, you know what, I'm going to put the game itself pointless, just to fill that out a bit more, because it's a terrible game. That is that, and that's every Rocket League feature ranked best to worst. I hope you enjoy it. It took me a fucking long time to film this, so please make sure you appreciate it. There's a couple more of these. There's a ranks tier list, which I forgot to mention when I went through the ranks. There's a ranks tier list I've done on that, and there's a song tier list, which I mentioned earlier, so go and check them out as well. And I'll see you in the next one.